Up next on the Met Report, a magician displays all his tricks, but never reveals his secrets.
Last week, area health officials warned of a possible TB exposure. Learn more about the history of TB in Colorado.
Take me out to the ball game. Baseball season is finally here and students are ready to rep their teams.
The SGA elections are happening next week. We have all the information you need. The Met Report starts now.
Yesterday, students evacuated the King Center because the fire alarms sounded. Area police and Denver Fire were quickly on the scene. Nobody was hurt, but it caused quite a commotion. Thank you for joining us on the Met Report. I'm Tristin Swan.
And I'm Tony Almanza. A world-famous magician wowed the audience in the Tivoli Town Hall on Tuesday. Our very own David Mann was able to meet up with him after the show for a behind-the-scenes look.
From his beginnings as a street performer in Brooklyn, New York, to becoming world-renowned in his art, Steven shares with us what it took for him to reach the big time.
I would say a lot of work put in. So it's a lot of hours spent when no one sees you on TV. It's like most of the time spent is just you practicing, working on stuff, working on the streets. There's quite a few years out there before I had any attention at all. So I would say just putting in the work and effort and being smart about how you spend your time. You know, obviously if you're working towards something and you're not trying to grow or you're not trying something different, you know, it's a lot smarter to work smarter than harder. It's never just one project. It's always like, well, what's the next TV show? What's the next this? You know, hopefully a Netflix special down the road. You know, working on different things, whether I want to promote, you know, an educational product with Rubik's Cubes or entertaining, teaming up with the Rubik's Cube. I get to travel the world, get to do magic shows. It's like, it's very cool to travel all over. I like that a lot too. For me, it's just fun. It always came from a place of I just had fun with it. It was like, do it at parties, do it for friends. It's just a great thing to do. You know, it's entertaining. People seem to like it. So it just came from an aspect of just trying to being as happy as possible. So just keep on pursuing what you love doing. Just have fun with it for the most part. You know, if you're doing something that you're not like doing, switch it up. It's not worth it in the long run.
Watch close. One-handed, behind the back, completely solid.
Reporting for the Met Report, I'm David Mann.
The semester is coming to a rapid end, which means students are looking for summer work. On Wednesday, April 3rd, students from all three schools came dressed to the nines to the job fair at the Tivoli Town Hall, being the largest recruiting event center of the semester open to all majors. The fair consisted of several prominent employers such as Waterway and First Bank looking to hire. Each employer informs students about what skills they require and look to the task entails. Those who brought their resumes to the event seemed to fare better than those who did not.
As the U.S. moves towards renewable energy and other eco-friendly programs, communities from every corner are inspired to contribute to the cause. Christina Kleeman has more on environmental equality.
Latinos have been disproportionately impacted by air pollution, so we encourage them to protect themselves and speak up against polluters who are constantly affecting our health.
Global climate change doesn't discriminate.
This event means making sure that young people and people who are interested in taking climate change and global warming have the resources to understand on a factual level and on a legislative level what is happening in our world and how they can make a positive impact and actually use their voice to make change happen.
Well, I was pretty excited to hear about environmental justice because we don't hear about that enough.
Our planet is being destroyed at an alarming rate, regardless of your race, religion, politics, or wealth.
We really need to stop prioritizing money because that's all it is. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of money, but once the planet goes downhill, is it really gonna matter how much money you have? Like, you know, in the long run, it's gonna affect everybody.
I think that there is a way that we can transition over to protect our environment and to protect our world while people are able to maintain themselves and have a sustaining, livable wage.
We must come together for our future, for our water, and our land. For the Met Report, Christina Kleeman.
Have you seen the t-shirts hanging above the main stairs in the Tivoli Union Station? Bree Hernandez is on location with the story.
Yes, thank you so much, Tony and Tristin. And as you can see right now, the clothesline project is in the Tivoli, and it is in full effect, 100%. And students are definitely starting to take notice as well. As you can see, the t-shirts are multicolored just to bring out that really positive vibe and ultimately get people's attention as well. They all have different quotes on them that are not only relevant to us as a community, but to the survivors and their families as well. The Phoenix Center always puts on really awesome projects like this too. I know we've seen it earlier in the year with the Red Dress Project, and we've also seen it just around campus, in the bathrooms, in classrooms. It's just amazing to see how they spread awareness, and we hope to see more of it in the future. Back to you in the studio.
This spring break, MSU Denver had a close call with the disease, long since relegated to the history books of Colorado. Met reporter Wendy Williams has more.
Over spring break, there was a reported potential tuberculosis exposure at MSU. Tuberculosis, or TB, is an infectious disease that is spread through the air.
Bottom line is TB is still a problem, much less than it used to be, but it hasn't gone away. That's why we're here today.
While there's no ongoing risk of TB exposure on campus, Denver Public Health and the Health Center of Auraria quickly identified and contacted those potentially exposed, stopping the risk. The incident brought up the reminder of a disease that many don't think about, but is still active globally and in our state. Colorado is inexorably linked with the disease. In the 1900s, Colorado was known as the World Sanatorium due to the thousands of people who flocked to the state, believing the dry mountain air was a cure for their illness, then known as consumption. Many of the sanitariums of the 1900s transformed into the state's most respected hospitals. National Jewish Hospital and Swedish Medical Center in Denver and Penrose Hospital in Colorado Springs, among them. Doc Holliday, Golda Meir, poet Robert Frost, and Robert Speer, who would later become mayor of Denver, came to Colorado to partake in the cure. It's a fascinating history. Though Denver Public Health states that the recent trends suggest that TB rates in the U.S. and in the Denver metro area have plateaued, DPH is actively working to eliminate it in the area. Knowledge is always some of the best prevention, and we have links to more information about TB, its prevention and causes, and its Colorado history on the Met TV Facebook page. Wendy Mills, Met TV.
So guys, we had some pretty nice weather this week, right?
Yeah, the weather was pretty nice. Corey, what can you tell us about the weather across the state right now?
Well, actually, it's nice right now, and it's going to continue to be nice into next week. I could take you over to the weather wall and show you a bit more. Okay, so currently in Denver, it's around 64 degrees, and on the other side of the Rockies, it'll be about 74 in Grand Junction as well. Okay, and as you see now, there's some cloud cover over Denver. On the western slope, we got a little bit of isolated rain showers, but other than that, not much going on. So it is currently 64 degrees out. There's winds coming from the southwest at 6 miles per hour. So we'll start out about 65 degrees. At 4 p.m., it'll be 68 degrees, and at 8 p.m., it'll cool down just a bit to 56. Currently, it's the high today is 66 with a chance of snow showers after 3 p.m. today. And coming up, I'll talk a little bit more about the chance of showers today and the weekend and 7-day forecast.
Denver held its first ever drag convention, and it was sickening.
Looking for handmade glass? A family business in Estes Park has it all.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Yeah, baby.
On Wednesday, Senator Michael Bennet announced he was officially diagnosed with cancer. Bennet announced on Twitter that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer just this March. Bennet does still plan on running for president in the 2020 election, announcing this unanticipated hurdle only reinforces how strongly I feel about contributing to the larger conversation about the future of our country. And I am even more committed to drive that conversation with a positive direction.
What's 1,600 degrees, colorful, and found in Estes Park? Glass blowing. Corey Clifton and his family are the owners of Mountain Blowing Glass. They make anything from figures, jewelry, large plates, and bowls. Anyone can walk around their store to admire art and even sit in the experience of glass blowing demonstration. While they do ship around the world, the Cliftons are happy to stay where they are and love being local.
It's a family-run business. My dad started 24 years ago, right around there. He had a friend that was a glass blower that needed help, and actually went and worked with the guy for 4 years and then fell in love with the whole process and has been doing it ever since.
Last weekend, Denver held its first ever drag convention. Reporter Corey O'Leary had a chance to attend and talk with some of the organizers and performers.
Denver Drag Days is the first drag convention to ever be held in Denver. Taking place over the course of 3 days, activities at the convention range from panels to performances.
The whole sole concept is to put queer people under one roof, allies under one roof, all of us, that is welcome across the state, across the nation. The idea that Denver has those community-based events that kind of showcase what Denver drag is about, or queer art is about.
This was a great coming together of the community. When we started, we wanted to bring the community together for drag because drag is so big in it. So all of the bars that are in the Denver LGBTQ community came together and supported it. The shows on Saturday represented a lot of the different bars and things like that. The entertainers on the panels that spoke and answered questions were all from different bars, and we're a platform to give them a voice.
If I were to name any one thing that kind of brings everybody in the drag community, it's probably the idea that they can be whoever they want on the stage. They can truly, authentically express themselves on the stage. I think everybody relates to that little area. Granted, everyone's story is different, how they started, why they do it, but I think everybody would agree it's an expression that is freeing.
Drag brunches are really big in the city. There's countless bars that do them. And so we decided that we wanted to break the world record as part of our Denver Drag Days. And so we kind of set out to work with Guinness to find out what the number was, and then found out it's never been attempted. And so we had to have a minimum of 200 people, and that's kind of how the whole process started. And we started selling tickets and almost sold out.
Guinness requires that we hit at least 200 people attending to be able to set a world record. Today's world record is 338 people.
What I saw over the last few days is people coming, smiling, having fun, being with their friends, expressing themselves. Some people who've never done this before put on a little eyeshadow, and then they live for the rest of the night.
For the Met Report, Corey O'Leary.
Honeybees are a new priority and hobby for Morgan Freeman in an effort to curb the declining honeybee population. American Award winner, actor, director, narrator, and now beekeeper Morgan Freeman converted his 124-acre ranch in Mississippi to a honeybee sanctuary. For him, saving and preserving bees is important. Because populations are decreasing around the world, Freeman has imported more than 20 beehives from Arkansas into his ranch and has kept up to a successful routine of caring for them daily, and says he never wears a hat or a suit to protect himself. Even though the Earth's surface is 71% water, the Middle East and North Africa has the least access to sustainable sources. Unsustainable water uses occurs when water is taken from natural sources at a rate faster than it's replaced by rain. This condition occurs across the Arabian Peninsula and the Middle East. Some countries in the region have maintained supplies despite their conditions through process like desalination. Without significant rainfall, the only other solution is to buy water. Currently, the economic loss total $21 billion per year.
The world is mourning the loss of famous musical icon Nipsey Hussle at the age of 33. The Grammy-nominated star was shot and killed on March 31st outside his clothing store in South Los Angeles, California. His sudden death comes as a huge loss to his friends and family, and not only to mention the Los Angeles community. He was helping to rebuild after a tireless search for the killer on April 2nd. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has confirmed the arrest of suspect 29-year-old Eric Holder. In world news, Norway announced the introduction of wireless charging system for taxis in the capital city of Oslo. The city is the first in the world to implement such a system. The wireless charging project puts the Scandinavian country on track to keep its promise of having zero-emission taxis fleet in Oslo by 2023. According to Reuters, almost 1 in every 3 cars brought in Norway is electric, giving the Norway's world highest rate of electric car ownership.
Okay, so currently we're at 67 in Denver. Up north it's a little cooler with 49 in Chicago and 54 in Bismarck. And as we can see in Denver, we still have a lot of cloud cover over all of Colorado, but in the Pacific Northwest we can see rain coming in, and that's going to mean a chance of rain a little later in the week. Tonight's low is going to be 42 with mostly cloudy, but tomorrow it's going to get right back up to 68. And our 7-day forecast, as we see, it's going to stay nice throughout the weekend and even increasing in temperature on Monday and Tuesday to get into the mid-70s as our highs. Wednesday and Thursday is when we're going to see a chance for rain with 50% showers on Wednesday. And as always, you can catch the Met Report on Facebook, Twitter at the Met Report, and at mymetmedia.com.
What is Met TV? It's the Met Report for all your latest news. Noticiero TV Met, news in Spanish. Both on Denver Channel 58 and mymetmedia.com. Tune in for the latest in sports, aging entertainment, and more. Also check out The Nightly Met, a Tonight Show. El Templo Futbolero for all your soccer news. Student Corner. Daytime Duo, a fun daytime talk show. MSU Denver Laughs for some fun improv. And Otra Onda, entertainment in Spanish. All this and more only on Met TV.
What's up, everyone? My name is Yoselin Mesa Miranda, and today I'm here to bring you the latest news in our school's baseball team, along with other sport-related news. Starting with the MSU Roadrunners baseball team, let's go over their game versus Regis that happened this Monday, April 1st. Our team unfortunately lost 4-6, but the coach says that they saw it coming since Regis was taking more hits than MSU did. Let's not lose hope though, because our Roadrunners are standing with a 20-8 overall record and a 13-3 mark in Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play. Keep up the good work, boys. Now let's talk about basketball. As many of you know, every sports fan is in a constant debate about who is the greatest player in the history of the NBA. Golden Warriors star Kevin Durant shared his opinion in a recent podcast. Durant says that his top players in order are Michael Jordan, then Kobe Bryant. Why is Kobe Bryant number 2 on his list? Durant says that he is number 2 not in greatness, but in terms of skill. But you may wonder, why wasn't LeBron James on his list? His answer, simply because James still has a few more seasons to go. What do you guys think of this? With the Rockies playing their home opener today, I went around campus to ask the fans about the new baseball season. A lot of students aren't from Colorado and told me that they went for their home's baseball teams.
On opening day, Goldschmidt hit 3 home runs, so I was excited, but then we kept losing. So I was like, but I'm optimistic for this year.
They keep the loyalty for their home team and will continue rooting for them, and some even have their favorite players.
I'm pulling for the Indians. You know, I'm from Ohio, so go Tribe, right?
Okay.
Indians, see if they can keep that win streak rolling, I guess, man.
I grew up a half hour north of Boston. They've always been great for me. I really love Pedro Martinez and Nomar Garcia-Parra, and they've always just been really cool. I'm from New Hampshire, though, so I'm rooting for the Boston Red Sox.
I also asked what was so important to them about baseball and why is opening day a big topic in America.
People come there to spend time with their families, just, you know, have the hot dog, the beer, that stuff. So just the fact that that's coming back into the season, just sharing that again, it's more like, it's not actually like the affiliation with the team, it's more like connecting through sport with your family, with friends. So I think that's why people are more like excited about it.
Even if others go for teams in another state, baseball is something we all share because we have fun and it brings everyone together. For the Met Report, Yoselin Mesa Miranda.
Hi, this is Wellington Webb, former mayor of Denver, Colorado from 1991 to 2003. I was so pleased to receive an honorary doctorate from Metro State University. It's been a great highlight of my life. And I also want to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to you on your 50th anniversary.
Stand on the edge of the train station platform, drive around the boom, get at a level crossing, run across the tracks between the platforms. They may not rhyme, but they're quite possibly the dumbest ways to die.
There's a million dumb ways to die. Don't let it be around buses and trains. Be safe around buses and trains. A message from RTD.
So many dumb ways to die.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome to Met Report Politics. I'm Miriam Maramburo. On the afternoon of March 22nd, Robert Mueller submitted his 400-page report to Attorney General William Barr. 2 days later, the conclusions were made public. Attorney General William Barr and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein released a letter to Congress stating that the two men did not believe President Donald Trump knowingly conspired with Russians during the course of his campaign, nor was there sufficient evidence to indict the president on obstruction of justice charges. Robert Mueller failed to deliver a verdict himself, saying instead, quote, "While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him," end quote. The special counsel investigation took over 22 months to complete and was still often heavily criticized by President Trump as a witch hunt. Women in politics are starting to grow bigger than ever thanks to a group called Ignite. Ignite was founded by Dr. Ann Moses to help cultivate the ambition of young girls to be engaged into politics. The group helps young women who are ready and eager to become the next generation of political leaders. The group teaches women how the government works, why it matters, and how to be politically engaged. Ignite has programs all across the United States, K through 12 programs, and even college programs such as CU Denver. To become involved, go to ignitenational.org.
The moment is
Next
now.
week are the
If
MSU
you wanna
Denver
run for
government
office,
student government elections.
do it where you are. If you're in high school or middle school or college, run for office on your campus. Don't wait until you feel perfectly qualified. There is no moment of perfect qualification in life. You just gotta seize it and go for it.
Next week are the MSU Denver student government elections. But what is student government and why should you care? We sat down with a former SGA president to find out.
A lot of people I've found during my time as president don't really understand the role that student government plays on campus, which is unfortunate because it plays a really, really important role.
Joshua Gardner, the former MSU Denver student body president, sat down with us this week to discuss the upcoming election and what student government really does. SGA has a hand in everything from the university and department budgets to gardening and sporting activities, but he listed one task as the most important.
Probably the most important function of SGA is the fact that it has such an important decision on budgetary committees, specifically the Budget Task Force. They ultimately decide the cost of tuition, which is the most important reason for having a student government representative on that committee.
But aside from electing the student government, students also have the opportunity to vote on referendums, which can be just as impactful as who your president is. Just look at Britain right now if you want an example of how important referendums are.
What those look like and how they're worded changes a little bit year to year, but one that is consistently on the ballot is the RTD referendum, which is essentially a measure that continues the availability of the RTD pass.
Hopefully, you're now getting a feel for the role that the MSU student government has in shaping your experience on campus. While these elected students are not solely responsible for deciding things like tuition prices, your vote on referendum issues, such as the RTD pass, have a direct influence on the university. So it's time for the million-dollar question. How do you vote?
To vote, you go online, and there will be a link that is sent out in an email by the Dean of Students during the week of voting. In addition to that, there will be polling locations, generally speaking, that is located in the Tivoli across from the Starbucks. And there will be computer locations set up there where you can go and cast your vote.
Joshua was proud to tell us that MSU Denver won an award for being the most politically engaged campus in the United States during the national election. However, university election turnout drops drastically to only about 1%. To Joshua, that is unacceptable, and he offers this parting thought to encourage us all to get out and vote.
Honestly, we need all the involvement that we can get, and the more voices that are heard, the greater impact this campus will have.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited for the Rockies opening day. Do you guys have any plans, because we're going to be having nice weather this weekend?
Yeah, so actually I am going to Rockies opening weekend here on Sunday, so hopefully, the weather stays nice out that night. What about you, Miriam?
I unfortunately can't be there, but Corey, do you think this nice weather will hold up for the game?
Yeah, I completely will. It'll be nice all weekend, so spend a lot of time outside.
Nice. That's all the time we have on the Met Report. Don't forget to tune in every Friday on Campus Channel 20 and Comcast Channel 58.